Let's make some Valentine salt and pepper shakers. Hey guys, so for the first layer on these salt and pepper shakers, I'm going to be using Cheesecake by the Glitter Guy. And to add the glitter, I am using Resin Rocker's Skim Coat. This dries or cures super fast and is a pretty thick UV resin, so it's really good for putting down that first layer of glitter. So I'm putting a pretty generous amount on, and I'm just smoothing it all around the prepped salt and pepper shaker. When I prep these, all I do is you can either spray paint them, or especially right now while it's so cold outside, I use a white chalk paint. I will link the one that I use, and then I put a strip of electrical tape around the rim of the salt and pepper shaker so that I don't get any resin or glitter on that part. Before I cure it, you do want to pull that piece of electrical tape off. That way it doesn't pull your paint and your glitter off whenever it's cured. So you just want to smooth all the glitter around, make sure it's completely covered. Sometimes getting inside of that little handle can be a little bit tricky. And then you're going to cure this one under your UV light and repeat the process with the second one. Once that first layer is cured, you're going to go in with the Resin Rocker Skim Coat and add another 2 to 3 layers of resin on top of that. The glitter that I'm using is a mini chunky, so I want to make sure and get a good thick layer of resin so that way as I sand it, I'm not actually sanding away any of the glitter. So this is the second coat that I'm putting on, and you're going to do that for both. And once that's cured, you're going to add your third layer. And again, you just want to make sure that you get this as smooth as possible, making sure every part of the salt and pepper shaker is completely covered so you get an even coverage. Once all your layers are cured, you're going to go in with your sandpaper and sand the entire thing as smooth as you can possibly get it. You want to make sure that you have a smooth surface before you apply your next layer. Once it's sanded, I'm going to go in with my All That resin from All That Glitters Lab. This is a self-leveling thin coat resin. It is perfect for adding your next few layers. So again, same process, add your resin, make sure that it's smoothed around completely, making sure the entire thing is covered. For this next part, you want to make sure that you have a completely smooth surface. Now I'm adding on my vinyl that I cut out because I am doing a peekaboo effect with these. This is the design that I chose. I was going kind of for a Valentine's theme, and I'm just placing the hearts around them wherever they go. Both the salt and pepper shaker will be a little bit different for each one. And now I'm going in with a Stay Tacky glue by All That Glitters Lab. This glue will stay kind of sticky after it dries. Once you put a thin layer on, you want to let it dry for about a half an hour or so. And you'll feel that the glue is still very, very, very tacky. And this will allow me to add my next glitter layer and then do what's called varnishing. And I will show you how that works. Then after letting that glue dry for about 30 minutes, I'm going in with Fairy Dust Fizz by the Glitter Guy. And you're going to put a solid coverage of glitter onto the salt or pepper shaker. once everything is completely covered, you just start rubbing it in. This is how you varnish the glitter in. You put a good amount of pressure and just use your finger and just rub away at the glitter, and you'll see how the glitter kind of starts to change. And then you'll see right there, right as I'm rubbing, how the glitter becomes smooth and almost more holographic. I love the way this method looks. It gives it a completely different look than it does with just the regular glitter. So you just go through and varnish all of that glitter down. Depending on how thick your layer of glue is that you put down, it can take a little bit longer to varnish in. The glue that I put on, I think I did get a little bit thick, but it was also kind of cold in my office. So I think I actually got too thick of a layer, so it did take a little bit more force to get it to varnish. But here you can see the varnished look versus just the plain glitter. It completely changes the look of that glitter, and it is gorgeous. And now you want to go in with your X-Acto knife or a weeding tool, whatever you use, and pull away the vinyl that you put down for the peekaboo. And now that I've removed all the vinyl, I'm going in with another thin layer of UV resin. And again, I'm using all that resin from All That Glitters Lab. Once the resin's cured and you have a smooth finish, I'm going in with my pink permanent vinyl, and I am putting the rest of the vinyl down, the salt and pepper actual words. I'm putting trim around the hearts, and then adding some solid little pink hearts around, just finishing up the little details. Normally on all my items, I add care instructions on the bottoms, but these are too small, but I do still add my logo to the bottom. That way nobody can sell them as theirs, and if anybody wants to know where they got them, all they have to do is take a look at the bottom and there's my logo. Inside of each salt and pepper shaker, I do a card that will have the care instructions on them. Once my logo sticker's on, I'm going to go back in with another 1 to 2 layers of UV resin just until it's completely smooth and I've got a perfect finish on it, and then they will be ready to go. You can also put a layer of epoxy on these, but because no food will be touching the outside of these, there's no UV resin on the inside. So it's not really necessary for it to be food safe because no food's going to be touching the outside of it. But if you're more comfortable with epoxy or with something like Hyperion or Grand Finale from Crystal Lac, you can use those instead of UV resin. Now these are done, is that I will put a care instruction card on the inside, basically just stating to, clean with a damp cloth only, not to submerge them in water, not to expose them to extreme heat, and of course, to be gentle. It's a handmade item. So I hope you guys found this helpful. If you have any questions, please let me know. And please don't forget to hit like and subscribe and watch out for future videos. Thanks, guys.